It's Monday, October 7th. This is PSN News. Tonight we'll bring you a recap of Penn State's 100th homecoming celebration and what the graduating class of 2020 has decided its class gift will be.
We also have more on a prominent presidential candidate's health scare as well, as an update on the impeachment inquiry into President Donald Trump. Stay tuned.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Sebastien Kraft.
And I'm Kennedy Miller.
The Penn State Student Philanthropy Network announced that the 2020 Senior Class Gift will support counseling and psychological services, also known as CAPS, to help students combat personal mental health obstacles on a daily basis in the near future. The endowment was announced last Tuesday in advance of Penn State's 100th homecoming weekend. While the exact amount of the class gift has not been disclosed, CAPS staffers were thrilled when they learned of the senior class's contribution. The class gift has been a mainstay of Penn State tradition since the university's early years. Relics such as the clock on Old Main's Tower, circa 1904, were provided as class gifts.
Center County District Attorney Bernie Cantorna announced Friday that the Penn State Police K-9 handler suspect of animal abuse allegations will not face charges due to insufficient evidence. After a thorough investigation by K-9 experts and a full examination on the dog at an animal hospital, there were no signs of injury or neglect, police said. Department spokeswoman Jen Cruden announced Friday that university police are still reviewing the state police report. The officer has since returned to normal patrol duty. Authorities stated that the dog is healthy and will return to do the job it was trained and bred for.
Last Wednesday, Andrew Sullivan, noted political commentator and author, gave a talk at Penn State entitled Democracy in the Age of Trump. PSN News field reporter Shannon Martin has the story.
Hi, my name is Shannon Martin, and I'm here at the Katz Law Building where author and political commentator Andrew Sullivan is about to discuss the American democracy in the age of Trump. Let's head inside. Penn State students and faculty, along with members of the community, came out to hear Sullivan speak. We got to hear from a student before the discussion began. We're here with Andrew, who's a PhD student in the English school here at Penn State. Can you tell us a little about why you're here tonight?
Yeah, I'm just interested in thinking about democracy in my own studies, and while I normally work in the 19th century, I think this is a good way to look at a contentious period today.
Throughout his discussion, Sullivan spoke about the division within America today. We got a chance to speak with him after to get a deeper look. Can you tell me where you see America in a year from now?
Well, in a year from now, where will we be? We're going to be in the middle of the most crazy political campaign. And what's true right now is that nothing is really predictable. I mean, I'm pretty sure Trump will be the Republican nominee, but who knows? I have no idea who will be the Democrat, but I know that it will be an election in which people are already immensely interested. The only thing I will project, I think it'll be a turnout that breaks a lot of records.
Sullivan stated the most controversial thing about himself is that he is a Catholic and a homosexual. He is also not on board with the social justice train, but certainly not on board with the Trump train. He enjoys not having a distinct political home. What do you hope people take away from today?
A more realistic grasp of the depth of the problems that we face and not being complacent about where we are and where democracy is in the United States.
Thank you. I appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your time at Penn State.
Thank you. I hope so.
With PSN News, this is Shannon Martin.
The State College Area School District is reiterating its zero-tolerance policy towards racist behavior after an incident late last week. A State College Area high school student posted a video containing racial slurs Thursday on Snapchat that prompted an immediate reaction from the school district. District Superintendent Bob O'Donnell and State High Principal Curtis Johnson issued a joint statement condemning the post after the video spread through the State High student body Friday. Parents and other organizations such as Standing Up for Racial Justice and the State College chapter of the NAACP have reached out to the school district. The district has contacted the students who created the Snapchat post and their families. It has not been disclosed whether those involved will face disciplinary action.
After word spread that California's governor signed a bill into law which allows student athletes to be compensated for their work effective January 1st, 2023. Lawmakers in Pennsylvania are attempting to follow suit, CBS Pittsburgh reported. The NCAA brought in more than $1 billion last year that primarily came from TV rights, ticket sales, and top-tier coaches. Democratic State Representative Dan Miller voices that, quote, many athletes are forced to give up their rights and economic freedom while colleges make hundreds and millions of dollars off their talent, end quote. This bill will help to balance the scale and allow athletes to sign endorsements and earn compensations. The limitations placed on unpaid college athletes are harsh, and they plan to introduce the Fair Pay to Play Act, which will allow each student athlete to be compensated for names and images. In response, the NCAA stated in response that these kinds of laws, quote, make the goal of providing a fair and level playing field unattainable for millions of students nationwide, end quote.
Stay tuned, because after the break, Kaylin Dunning will bring you the latest in entertainment news.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Kaylin Dunning with your entertainment update. The Penn State Thespian Society will be performing Heathers the Musical next week on October 10th and 11th at 7:30 p.m. They will perform an additional 2 shows on Saturday, October 12th, one at 1:30 p.m. and the other at 7:30 p.m. Performances will take place in the Schwab Auditorium. The musical is based off of the 1988 film Heathers, which deals with the social hierarchy of high schools and cliques. The fun, high-energy comedy will also deal with serious subjects including bullying, teen suicide, sexual assault, and violence. Tickets will be sold at the door, but you can reserve a seat online at eventbrite.com. Ticket prices are $4.99 for students and $12 for adults. Denver-based artist Illenium released his 3rd full-length studio album entitled Ascend on August 16th. Soon after, the DJ released his Ascend tour dates encompassing 30 cities, making a stop at the Bryce Jordan Center on October 3rd. The performance featured special guests Ikali, Dabin, and William Black. Illenium performed hit songs including In Your Arms, Hold On, and Lonely. The arena was lit up with vivid visual effects, colorful strobe lights, and fire. The artist even took to Instagram to post about his impressive performance at the BJC. Penn State's 100th homecoming celebration was this past week. Our Katie Shiro was on the scene at the homecoming parade on Friday. Let's tune into the action.
This is Katie Shiro with PSN News, and I'm out here reporting live right from the sides along the route of the 2019 Penn State Homecoming Parade. As you can see, the crowd is really filling up, and the anticipation is increasing as we get closer and closer to the start of one of Penn State's greatest traditions.
The parade kicked off at 6 p.m. in front of the IM building. It progressed through campus and downtown.
Is this your first time at the Homecoming Parade?
Yes, and it's awesome. It's big, and it goes like for a while on Curtin Road, so that's cool. I'm in front of my dorm right now, and the people here are awesome. My class canceled because the traffic was too bad this afternoon, so I expect it to be pretty big.
The parade consisted of more than just the student body. Faculty, alumni, business owners, and community residents marched down Curtin Road.
How do you feel so far about everything you've seen?
I think it's pretty cool, other than the fact that I got hit in the face.
Yeah, so can you tell us a bit about what happened?
Well, somebody threw a Snickers at my friend and it bounced off her shoulder and hit me in the face.
Candy, performances from dance teams like the Lionettes, and appearances from notable community figures and organizations kept the crowd in high spirits all night long.
Just anything, just let it go. Is this your first time at the Penn State Homecoming Parade?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, and you said your daughter goes here. What year is she?
Freshman.
Yeah. How do you feel about the Penn State Parade and everything you've seen so far tonight?
So far, it's awesome.
Excellent. I love the fact that it's student-based instead of town-based, business-based. Everything's about the students and the organizations and everything else on campus.
Yeah. Yep. And what's your favorite float or thing you've seen so far tonight in the parade?
I don't know, I'm kind of partial to the baton twirlers.
The parade lasted 2.5 hours, concluding at 8:30.
But the homecoming festivities don't end tonight. Tomorrow, Penn State Nittany Lions will take on Purdue University in their homecoming football game. Once again, I'm Katie Shiro, and this is PSN News.
Pop singer Justin Bieber and model Hailey Baldwin had their wedding ceremony this past Monday on September 30th. The couple tied the knot a year ago in a Manhattan courthouse and have been planning their real wedding since. The ceremony took place at the Montage Palmetto Bluff in South Carolina. The luxurious hotel overlooked the historic May River and had a classic Southern theme. The picturesque wedding included some very prestigious guests, including Kendall and Kylie Jenner, Jaden Smith, Justine Skye, Usher, Ed Sheeran, and many more. Singer Daniel Caesar was also in attendance and provided the music for their wedding. The wedding features were extravagant and elegant, and reportedly cost more than $500,000. That's your entertainment update. Stay tuned because after the break, Adam Mikoleshko has the latest in sports.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Adam Mikoleshko with your sports update. Penn State football head coach James Franklin stated in his post-game interview that, quote, "We are playing championship-level defense right now," after the Purdue Boilermakers got derailed as Penn State put up yet another convincing win to their 2019 season. For the 100th homecoming game, Penn State's defense completely outmatched Purdue. The Boilermakers' offense was banged up, but Penn State put up 10 sacks against them, one shy of the program's single-game record. Sophomore Sean Clifford threw for 264 yards with 3 touchdowns, and freshman running back Noah Kane ran for 105 yards and a touchdown. Penn State finally rose up the rankings, placing at number 10, moving up 2 spots from last week. Penn State fans can look forward to a primetime with whiteout game for the Lions' next outing, as ESPN just announced that Penn State-Michigan game will be played at 7:30 on October 19th. This week, the Nittany Lions will be on the road going up against number 17 Iowa. This will be the beginning part of the test to see how far Penn State can actually go this year. Speaking of Iowa, looks like Penn State has already started taking over as Penn State's women's volleyball swept the Hawkeyes over the weekend. This marks the all-time record between the teams. Wait for it. It's a close one, 54-0 in Penn State's favor. Caitlin Horde, Serena Gray, and Joni Parker all had at least 8 kills. Penn State is back at University Park for this weekend, facing off against 2 more Big Ten teams, with Maryland on Friday and Ohio State on Saturday. Week 5 of the NFL last week was filled with exciting matchups. There is now one less undefeated team as the Kansas City Chiefs lost against the Colts at Arrowhead Stadium. The only remaining undefeated teams are the Patriots and 49ers. Focusing on the NFC East, though, the Redskins lost to the Patriots. The Giants now have a new face that is not named Saquon Barkley and rookie phenom Daniel Jones, but lost to the Vikings on Sunday. The Cowboys went from a 3-0 team to facing a weak schedule and now facing actual competition, and they are now 3-2 after losing to the Packers this week. The Eagles made history with a win over the winless Jets with 10 sacks and 2 defensive touchdowns in a single game. That's an NFL record, folks. The race to see who wins the division is now on. Philly is now tied for the lead with the Cowboys with only 2 weeks until they face each other in Week 7. That was your sports update. Last Tuesday, the Penn State Homecoming Committee hosted a For the Glory talent show in Schwab Auditorium. PSN News field reporter Haley Curtis was there to take it all in, all the talent Penn State had to offer.
Many talented Penn State students performed with their organizations in the For the Glory talent show, one of the many events hosted during homecoming week, held in Schwab Auditorium on Tuesday. Groups such as the Penn Harmonics, Outcast Dance Team, and the thon organization Atlas all showed out for this event, showcasing their acts for an enthusiastic audience. Public Relations Director Lauren Myers said the committee wanted to make this event bigger and better than the rest.
Like a night to kind of just relax and not worry about homework for like a few hours, just like see your friends and people you might know compete. I think we're just super excited to like celebrate the 100th homecoming.
The performers are required to go through an audition process before being able to perform on this stage. 4 judges choose the winners of the talent show, and those winners get the chance to perform at Thon 2020. The winners of this year's talent show were Code of Conduct coming in 3rd, Lion Ambassadors coming in 2nd, and Penn State Dance Alliance coming in 1st place. Penn State Dance Alliance's third-year veteran, Kelsey Wolf, was excited to perform at the For the Glory talent show for the third year in a row and looks forward to more performances throughout the year.
And then as soon as we were out here, like, you can hear people screaming in the crowd, and that gets you more excited, and then you just have this adrenaline rush, and like once you have it, you just keep going, and it just powers you through the dance.
These performances capture the essence of this year's homecoming theme, a century of stories, and was an electric kickoff to a jam-packed homecoming week. Reporting for PSN News, I'm Haley Curtis.
Hello and welcome back to PSN News. I'm Brandon DeWolf. Tonight we have Carly Danielson, the president of the Ukulele Club, which you just saw performed at the Glory Talent Show last week. Hi Carly, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. So can you tell us a little bit about the Ukulele Club and about your journey to the presidency?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a fifth-year student right now, and I joined Ukulele Club as a freshman, and I'd never played ukulele ever before in my life, and I just thought it was a neat instrument and maybe a gateway into learning a different instrument because I'd never really had much experience with that. And I absolutely loved it from the get-go. It was just a neat community of people who were all varying levels of playing, and they just like to get together and learn something new and have a good time. It was like a break and a chance to do something in a group. And I'd sung for a long time, and so when I learned that they had performance opportunities, we could sing and play, I saw it as a really cool chance to get me to really work at learning something that I hadn't before. And so I stayed in the club, and I was in it over the years doing the performances. And then kind of as I got to know the people in the group, it was like, oh, do you want to be on the exec board maybe, you know, and then I applied to do it and I was chosen, and so it was just kind of the past couple years of being on the exec board, and then eventually when the previous president graduated, I took her place.
Awesome. So you mentioned performances, so it's not just a gang of people playing together, but you go and obviously perform in front of crowds at events. What kind of things do you usually go to?
Yeah, so I mean, over the years, we've definitely played at a lot of different venues. We've played at like any type of, I don't know, retirement parties. There have been like ukulele music festivals, instrumental festivals. We played at Thon before, but basically we'll play anywhere that people want to hear some ukulele. We're like background music. Sometimes we're a headliner, quote unquote, but it's a really fun experience, yeah.
All right, so Thon, that's a big name right there. Can you tell us a little bit about playing at Thon and why it's so important and so special to play at such a big thing here at Penn State?
Yeah, so we are a relatively new org. We were founded in 2013, so we're pretty new. And so it was a couple years ago, I think it was right after I first joined, that for the first time they had thought about auditioning to perform at Thon, and it's obviously a really big gig, and it's a really incredible and life-changing experience to just be there with all those people, and that energy is really significant, I guess. And so we had auditioned and we got it, and then there was a year in between that we didn't make it to perform, but we have performed on stage, we've performed on the floor before. Both are really incredible experiences. They're different experiences. Definitely being on the floor is a fun time because you get to be right with the dancers and with all the students and with the kids. And then on the stage, you would think it's kind of intimidating, but it's really fun and it's kind of laid back, and it's just a really neat time to see your hard work and get to share it with other people and have a good time. Yeah.
So I also understand you guys just became a Thon org as well. So you have a family and you raise money to add to that family.
Yeah.
What do you think it means to that family to see you guys up there playing that stage for them?
So we actually got a family really recently. Like you mentioned, we're very new to being a Thon org, and so that was a new thing for us. But I think it's really neat for us to have a Thon family because we recently have become interested in Thon, and we really support, the cause, and we find it very powerful and moving. And so just sharing our love for music and seeing other people share their love for music helps the family and makes us feel close to them. So.
Awesome. Well, that's all the time we have for today, and I really appreciate you coming out to talk to us. Stay tuned, because right after this, we'll have your latest weather update.
From the students of Penn State Meteorology, here is your Penn State Campus Weather Service forecast.
Good afternoon, Central Pennsylvania. I'm student meteorologist Jacob Morris here with your PSN News weather update. Looking at your weather headlines as we head into the rest of the week, it will be a quiet week of weather. Not a whole lot of precipitation expected, no big rain events, and temperatures should be remaining right around average. So after all this precipitation that we've been dealing with throughout the day today, we'll be exiting our region. It looks like a quiet weather pattern will be setting up across our region over the next 5 or 6 days. So here's a look at future weather, time this out hour by hour for you. All that rain that we had to deal with throughout the day today will be exiting the Center County area by around 7 or 8 o'clock this evening, and then exiting the entirety of the Commonwealth by around 3 or 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. So by the time that you're waking up for classes or for work tomorrow morning, it looks to be a mostly sunny start to your day. A light breeze out of the north with a mixture of clouds and sunshine. Those clouds look to move out of our area by the time we get into the afternoon hours tomorrow. So a beautiful afternoon if you do have any outdoor plans for the afternoon hours tomorrow. Temperatures should climb up into the lower 60s, which is right around average for this time of year. Our average high in State College should be around 64 degrees, so right around that mark for the day tomorrow, as well as for the day on Wednesday. Temperatures start off into the lower 40s to start your day on Wednesday, and then climbing up once again into the lower 60s for the afternoon hours on Wednesday. So why are we dealing with this quiet weather pattern with not a lot of precipitation to deal with in our area? Well, we have a very strong center of high pressure up to our north and east, north of the New England area into eastern Canada. This will be keeping air out of the north and east over the next couple of days, keeping our weather pretty calm here in central Pennsylvania. However, look off to our east a little bit and you do see a pretty strong coastal storm trying to develop off the coast of New Jersey and southern New England. This could impact southern New England with periods of rain and even some light winds over the next couple of days. The interesting thing about this storm, though, is that it's not going to be moving a whole lot over the rest of the week and into the second half of the week, as this center of high pressure will be blocking it from moving any farther north, and there's no real steering winds to move it out to sea. So by the afternoon hours on Thursday, and then as I put this into motion by the afternoon hours on Friday, this coastal storm still sitting off south and east of the New England area. So that's something to watch in the coming days. But notice here in State College in central Pennsylvania, we won't be dealing with many impacts from this storm. Maybe a little bit of increased cloud cover throughout the afternoon hours on Wednesday and the day on Thursday. But the center of high pressure will be dominating our weather for the majority of the week, keeping temperatures around average before this cold front moves in associated with the center of low pressure by the time we get into the weekend time frame. So for your forecast for the night tonight, dropping down to a low of 46 degrees. Those clouds will be decreasing as the rain moves out of our area. And then for tomorrow, a high of 62 with a mixture of clouds and sunshine. Here's your 7-day forecast from the Penn State Campus Weather Service. Temperatures around average in the low to mid 60s for Thursday and Friday as well, with plenty of sunshine. Saturday, we could see a few showers, especially as we head into the evening and overnight hours on Saturday, but the day on Saturday looks to be mostly dry with mostly cloudy skies. And then gorgeous for the day on Sunday with mostly sunny skies, as well as for the day on Monday. And once again, temperatures remaining right around average for this time of year in the upper 50s to low 60s. For PSN News, I'm student meteorologist Jacob Morris. Have yourselves a great night.
Four are dead and 5 are wounded in the aftermath of a shooting at a bar in Kansas City early Sunday morning. Police first responded to an incident at Tequila KC at about 1 a.m. Eyewitness accounts said that 2 suspects entered the bar and began shooting into the crowd with a handgun. While the 4 who were killed were all Hispanic males, police said at this time they do not think the shooter was racially motivated, but was instead spurred on by a previous incident at the bar. The injured 5 were brought to the hospital and are in stable condition. No arrests have been made at this time.
Democratic presidential candidate Senator Bernie Sanders' campaign announced Friday that the Vermont senator had a heart attack and had stents put in during an extended hospital stay in Las Vegas last week. Following his 2.5 days at Desert Springs Hospital, Sanders has decided to return back to Vermont to continue his recovery. Campaign spokesman Mike Kaska said the Sanders campaign announced that Sanders will be canceling his upcoming events and appearances until further notice, but will be preparing for his upcoming Democratic debate on October 15th. Sanders expressed on Twitter his thankfulness for all the well wishes and that he is feeling much better.
The attorney who represented the whistleblower who first reported on Trump's dealings with the Ukraine that prompted his current impeachment inquiry has said that he is representing a now second whistleblower in the White House. This unknown second White House employee adds further credence to the first whistleblower's claims that alleged Trump pushed Ukrainian Prime Minister Volodymyr Zelensky to investigate presidential candidate and former Vice President Joe Biden and his family. Neither whistleblowers have been named at this time as impeachment inquiries into the president continue.
Ex-Dallas police officer Amber Geiger was convicted this Wednesday of murder and sentenced to 10 years in prison after shooting her unarmed neighbor, 26-year-old Botham John, in his apartment. Geiger lived one floor below John and testified that she was off duty from an 18-hour shift when she mistakenly entered his unit on September 6, 2018. Geiger believed John was a burglar and shot him in the chest, saying she feared for her life. The jury was allowed to consider that John's death was a result of a, quote, sudden passion, which reduced her sentence from 20 years behind bars. After further investigation, Dallas County prosecutors found racial messages and comments on Geiger's social media, which has helped speak to her character and her undeserving of a lenient sentence. Geiger was taken into custody at the end of the first day of sentencing and was booked in the Dallas County Jail. The story does not end there, however, as John's neighbor and key witness to the murder trial, Joshua Brown, was killed in his apartment on Friday. No suspects have been identified at this time, Brown's murder being linked to conspiracy theories surround the Geiger case.
And that's all for tonight on PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter at PSN News and on Instagram at Penn State Network News.
Have a great night, Penn State.